Welcome, Doug Rozen. Thank you for joining TPAA Short Connects today. I'd like to welcome you. You are the Chief Media Officer of 360i, a creative, digital, innovative shop. And I've got some bings and bongs coming, but we'll try to ignore them. Welcome. How are you doing today, Doug?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Barry. It's a old campaign. I'll pan a little bit that way. I'll pan a little bit
Nice.
this way. It's an old campaign. And what I actually realized, Barry, this is an out-of-home campaign from 20 years ago, before we were maybe talking about digital out-of-home. It's a campaign on how to get people in Chicago out to see other parts of Illinois for Illinois tourism. I just love the artistic value, and it was a really special campaign where media and creative came together in a nice way.
It does look like some real good, actually, is that original art?
Yeah, it's all original art that we enlisted a ton of illustrators, 15 in total, and had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, they've each got their own look, and it looks like you've placed them well in your home office. So I'm going to give you the award of Best DPAA Short Connects Home Office during C19. Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about 360i. What's kind of the unique selling proposition of the shop?
Yeah, a lot of people know us either as an innovation-driven agency or a digital agency, which is true. I mean, we started 25 years ago as a search agency and evolved, 10, 15 years ago into social. But now we are full service and full funnel, and we're at scale and by design. And I think all four of those elements, full service, full funnel, by design, at scale, are really important because, we want to make sure that we're connecting brand and demand. And because our heritage allowed us to start from a performance orientation, we have done the complex, and we understand how to really drive the demand side, the performance media side. But now what we're doing over the last 3 or 4 years is broadening into representing all channels. And a third of the media that we now manage for clients is traditional media, and a third of the media is still search. And then that middle third is, digital, programmatic, and everything in between. And it's those type of evolutions that allow us to be what I call digitally led, but not digitally limited.
Got some great lines there. Digitally led, but not digital limited. I like a full service, full funnel. And then brand and demand.
Yeah, get them all in. I get bingo too, huh?
Bingo, excellent. And tell us about your role there, Doug.
Yeah, so I oversee the analytics, the media, and the performance capability. It's a nice size of the agency, and really what we're trying to do is not only figure out how we grow that portion, so winning major media AORs, but more importantly, how do you connect the strength in media to the creative offering that we have in-house? Not many agencies today have equally strong parts creative and media, and I think that was one of the main reasons that I was excited to join 360i. It's a key reason I've been able to recruit a lot of great leaders over the last 6 months and beyond to join. And I think we're just getting started, and I think COVID's actually driving clients to think about, why do I have all these agencies? Why do I have a performance media agency and a traditional media agency and a creative agency and a digital agency? And I think clients are just looking for that tighter integration, and we're fortunately well positioned for that.
So we're seeing a bit of a trend, and you're leading it, going back to a little bit more bundling, right?
I don't think it's bundling. I don't think it's rebundling. I like to think about it as new bundling, right?
Okay.
Because in the old days where campaigns like this came together, it was often started with a creative idea, and then it was what media came to light. And
Right.
today we have tools and capability that lets us start with the person. Who are we trying to target? What do we know about that person? And then how does media and creative, message and creative and media all come together to bring that to life? So I think it's a different way in. It's shocking. A lot of our client presentations are actually starting with what historically was the end of a presentation, the analytics, the models. We think it's really important to ground clients in the science that then supports the thinking and the ideas and bring that to life. Once we show, the contribution we feel we can deliver.
Great. You mentioned your clients. What are they thinking during this period? Are they spending? Are they pausing? Are they innovating? What are you hearing, Doug?
All the above. I mean, we moved pretty quickly to anchor with most of our clients based on where they are, and I think the reason why is we have over 20 retailers. Retail is our largest category. We have, in addition to those 20 retailers, we have an airline, a cruise ship, 2 hotel brands, 2 travel and convention bureaus, a restaurant, and a few others. So we've had to pivot quite significantly and do so pretty quickly. Because we also have a strong performance engine to what we do, we are the lifeblood to many of our clients and the demand that they're trying to capture between search and programmatic. So a lot of what we've seen are clients focusing in different ways. The restaurant brand shifting not only from a heavy spend to a lower spend, but also now trying to communicate that they're open, that they're willing to take orders and do delivery, those sorts of changes. And we've seen a tremendous improvement in their e-com and digital savviness, but it's still not enough to make up for the overall business erosion that they've been facing.
Sure.
And so, you have that on one end, but then we have some CPGs. We have a couple of retailers, a grocery chain that, is well positioned right now, and they're doing a lot to help, convey, messaging to their employee base who have now become these essential workers, or, demonstrating to America the importance of food and where food comes from and the critical plights on farmers right now. And so you have them investing into certain ways. So it really runs the spectrum right now, depending on the clients.
So Doug, as I see those great posters behind you of tourism some years ago, now I understand you're working with one of my favorite cities in the whole world, New Orleans. And what kind of business are you doing for them? Is that for tourism as well?
Yeah, that New Orleans tourism we've been working with, and it's one of our favorite accounts because it's one where we actually have creative and media well integrated together. Right now, we're not doing a lot of activities. Now is not the time to really advertise about New Orleans. We're thinking about what the next evolution of the campaign is for them. But we're also proud of some of the work we've done last year. We did a campaign where we brought a New Orleans Spotify playlist to life in Preservation Hall. And again, that's a great example of media and creative coming together to really bring something unique to New Orleans to life in a way that is just really special, and trying to bring the music in such an iconic place.
Doug, so you mentioned earlier about programmatic. Give us a sense of what 360i is doing programmatically, as certainly it seems to be increasing across display, mobile, and video.
Yeah, we about 10 years ago got very deep, very quickly into programmatic space and haven't looked back. 360i is part of Dentsu, so that affords us the opportunity to leverage the M1 platform, which provides some very unique abilities on a programmatic basis. We're able to build audiences, connect those audiences to unique inventory, have synchronous matches and be able to have full closed loop understanding. And that's just in one area. We've built out a team that we call audience activation. This team is bringing together a lot of the biddable channels in a way that we can think more about fluidity. A year ago, we had paid social as one team. We had programmatic as another. We had certain programmatic responsibilities in more traditional investment teams. But by bringing audience activation together, we can think about how do we follow an individual through the right channels? How do we think about, frequency management? And then do so with some great partners where we can think also full funnel. So we can identify somebody who's seen a more anthematic brand spot on a video, and then use between search and display and social to move them through the journey, both from a media decisioning, but also a messaging standpoint as well.
I like your full funnel approach from top to bottom at the agency. Interestingly, in our space, the out-of-home world, we traditionally, like behind you, have done great at branding and reach with billboards. And now, because of the digitization of out-of-home, we're able to actually affect sales, affect sensibility, and really work from the top of the funnel right down to the bottom as well. What's been kind of your sense of out-of-home and its digitization today, and the use of it by you and your clients?
Yeah, it's funny. I believe that out-of-home is not only going through a renaissance right now because of the digitalization, but it actually represents some of the greatest investment occurring from a programmatic standpoint. And I don't think people look at out-of-home either as a renaissance, but certainly as a digital channel. And for us, I think we see a lot of opportunity because we know we can get to a more honed selection of what we want to do. We can get to timely messaging. We can do a lot more personalized or relevant communications using digital out-of-home. And we've seen a ton of success in optimizing, the call to action or some of the creative elements as you think about digital out-of-home.
That's great to hear. And we've been pushing programmatic for quite a while, and it's a very exciting part of out-of-home for the whole industry and for advertisers. So you're working at home. You've got a great office. Like I said, you're winning the DPW Short Connect Best Home Office during coronavirus time. And along with your great posters and artwork, what inspires you working from home? What kind of gets you up in the morning and keeps you going during the day, in addition to your clients, of course?
Absolutely. I think one of the things I'm really inspired by the team. I feel like we haven't missed a beat, and I've talked to a lot of other agency leaders that we're feeling, I think, as an industry, that this works. If you would have asked me 12 weeks ago, you're going to pick up your whole operation, and instead of, you're going to start to manage 800 offices, which is essentially what it is. I would have said, hell no, there's no way we could do this. Right. The fact of the matter is, not only can we, I think we're thriving in it. We're doing our best to try to help teams, see how to work as best they can in these environments. So one of the things I'm actually inspired about is how human behavior is shifting right now, and how social distance has brought this virtual togetherness that we haven't seen. I'm also inspired by, I've been a digital marketer for 20 plus years, and now all of a sudden digital is so critical. And the things we've been talking about for 2 or 3 decades are now being sought and delivered in rapid time. If you think about all of the digital transformation that businesses are going through, it's inspiring. And then personally, I'm just happy not to be commuting an hour and a half every day, and using a little bit of that time to be with my family. I've started to run on purpose, not far, but just enough And I love to bike, so I try to take a couple hours during the week, not just on the weekend, to get out on the bike and go get lost in some part of Connecticut.
That's great. Can you get over there to Longshore by the water? It's so nice to bike and run over there.
Yeah, I was down there actually last week. It was very nice.
Very special place. So this has been great. If I have kind of three takeaways that I would say, and you've got a lot of great mention. One is that full service, full funnel is a great way to go. Number two, out of home is a digital medium, and digital is even more critical today. And then as the third one, straight from Doug Rozen's lips, this works. We're getting it done. The advertising business is actually getting it done. Media is being traded, creative is getting organized, ROIs are being delivered, and new business pitches are going on, right?
Apparently.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us today, and appreciate you being our guest on DPAA Short Connects, Doug Rozen from 360i. Thanks so much, Doug.
Thanks, Barry. Good to be with you.